Welcome back to Naval Action, and a bit of a departure from my normal ship reviews and Letter to the King malarkey. I've managed to find a couple of nice people to talk to, a Mr. Vicious, Lord Vicious, and a Mr. Nasty, Duke Nasty, from the Sorry clan. These are the leadership guys from the Sorry clan, and I thought we'd find out a bit about how they run their clan and what they're all about. So thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
Thank you for interviewing us.
And I thought maybe both of you could just give us a bit of a background about who you are and you know, what sort of games you played perhaps before this, and you know, where are you playing out of, whatever you want to say. So maybe you start, Mr. Vicious, Lord Vicious, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I started playing when I was very young, 14 years old. Started with Ultima Online. It was a sandbox medieval fantasy game.
Yeah.
Followed, and then I went pretty crazy with EVE Online. I played that for like 10 years.
All
So this kind of game comes pretty natural to me in that sense. You know, it feels a bit hardcore. You know, so.
Yep. And you play, are you out of Europe, mate, or America, or which neck of the woods are you out of?
I'm Italian.
You're Italian. There we go. Okay, we'll have to do another video on football at some point. Then I'm a big Liverpool fan. What about you, Duke? What's your backstory, mate?
Well, started out mostly with RTS games. So when I was young, Age of Empires and all that good stuff, and then kind of evolved, and I discovered EVE as well. I didn't play it nearly as long as Vicious did. Only about 3 years for myself, but that's kind of where I developed some of the tactics and skills that I use in this game.
Alrighty, and you don't sound very Italian. I'm guessing you're US side?
I am from the US.
There we go, that's pretty good. So we've got a European, an Australian, and a American. It sounds like the opening lines to a joke. Maybe you could give us just a bit of a summary of how did Sorry form and how perhaps they're run as a clan.
I hope you have time because it's a long story.
Yeah, well,
to be honest,
I do have to upload it from Australia, so.
Initially, we were a group of PvPers inside Tattered Flags. It was an American clan, and we were the hardcore groups. So some misunderstanding inside the group, let's say, we decided to left and creating Stars and Stripes. That was our initial plan. And it not worked very well. There was fighting between us and the other groups. We tried to rejoin the American Council. That was pretty much a group of clans, for administrating the nation. And they keep attacking us on the forum, etc. A bit because, to be honest, they were envious about how this group was growing up very fast and gaining reputation, and they were losing members. So
okay. How many guys do you have in Sorry, just out of interest?
110.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty decent size.
Yeah, but we tend to kick the people that don't log in after a week, so we have a bit of quality polishing in that sense.
Yep. Okay. So you keep yourself active members only, almost as much as you can with life and stuff.
Yeah.
Except for in very special circumstances.
Yep.
Yeah, unless a guy told us I go for
holidays
trip for a week or something like that. Yeah.
All right.
For the rest, if you AFK for a week and you don't tell why you are out.
You and your American friends didn't get on particularly well by the sounds of things. So why did you decide to become a pirate of all things? Why didn't you, become a proper sailor like a Brit?
And that's funny because it was my decision. I pretty much logged in TeamSpeak and my entire clan was in meeting and told me we go pirate, and say okay, fine, let's go. We decide all together pretty much what to do. If the majority want to go pirates because they say enough is enough with Americans.
Yeah.
That's how it happened pretty much.
It's very
Alrighty.
important that we keep the group together and things operate the same all the time.
And you've always
So
been
yeah, like
on this
Bishop
server,
says,
haven't you, Duke? Is that right? You've always been on this server?
always been on PvP 1.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a big group that joined us from PvP2, and that's where the clan really started to skyrocketing, especially in the number of first rates when we started the first war against the Americans.
Okay. So that is, and
They
as
were a
a
member of Sol, if I remember correctly.
But going back to how we became pirates, it's funny because it was a long time coming. Basically, every other day when we logged in, we were being accused of being traitors and liars and everything like that. And they kept accusing us of being pirates, and one day the majority of the players kind of had enough, and they were like, you know what, let's just acquiesce and become pirates.
yeah. So if you're going to be called a pirate, you may as well be a pirate.
Yeah, I always told them be careful of what you wish for because it can become real.
Fair enough. And as a clan, how sort of structured are you? I mean, have you got recruitment officers? Do you just run it with a officer cabal? Do you bother with voting? Just how structured do you run a clan like sorry?
I call the final shots, but we inquire everybody in the clan, to be honest. It's a meritocracy in the sense that you get roles or position based on the respect you receive from the majority of the clan. I mean, let's say you want to lead in PvP. It's not something that you can demand.
Yep.
The people will follow you simply because they think you are good and they trust you. That's how the people in the clan got fleet commander roles, for example, or things like that.
Okay.
Where in other clans it was more a sort of icon in TeamSpeak appointed. I want to be a fleet commander, that will give you an icon and you could try. Here we don't try.
And as a clan, do you focus on one area, or I mean, I'm not asking you for your secrets, but feel free to tell me them. I will sell them to the highest bidder. Do you focus on one particular mission? Do you consider you have like an area of operation? How do you sort of decide where you're going to be sharing your cannonballs with other players?
We move with a strategy in mind. I mean, we take pretty much various options and then we pick that one. Then we move the entire clan there with the ganking ship, first raids, shallow ships, with a long time strategy in mind. So we are not a clan linked to a certain area. We are just like nomads in that sense.
So that would be so if you like, if you were trying to, we don't have such things as mission statements and the likes. That's too corporate world for us. But if you were trying to describe what the purpose of Sorry
We are
is,
like the aliens of Independence Day, pretty much.
okay, all right.
Our entire society somewhere, and when the area lose interest or get dry from players, we move elsewhere.
Okay.
Right. Basically, simply stated, we're searching for content. When there's content in an area, we move to that area. We make that area home. We enjoy the content, and when the content moves, we move.
And I think that's a full broadside, buddy. I think you see that with a few clans, don't you? I noticed a couple of Brit clans just decided to take an island off the coast of the French and Danes and hold it for a full week or whatever, and that sort of brought them the biff every night. Now I've noticed that you obviously put a lot of effort into your crafting. You've got one of, if not one of the best fleets on the server with a big 25, at least 25 ship first rate. How do you manage the crafting? Do you have people in the clan dedicated to crafting and some who trade hours and the likes with them? How do you manage your crafting?
And that's how we are very different from the other clans, or at least what I experienced being in other clans. We work as a community. If I ask a resource, the people give me a resource. If I ask, give me 20 high-grade nodes, I just get provided nodes.
Okay.
Of course, we have also many other accounts in that sense. But to give you an idea, the battle that happened yesterday in Carlisle, after the battle, we get all the money that we made from the battle, and we buy back the ship for the guy that have lost it.
Ah, okay, that's good. So it's a real community pot that you kind of run.
You want yellow modules, for example, you just
Yeah.
come to me, give me the nodes, bam, you have the modules. No money. We, for example, a Santissima inside the clan, it costs only 700,000.
Okay. All right, so it's more or less just mats and love from the rest of the clannies, yeah? And I guess you need to just police that for folks. I mean, is there if I join the clan, that won't be happening, by the way. If I join the clan, is there a period of time before you kind of start handing out the goodies?
No,
All right,
we
okay.
take the risk, and so far, beside one guy, I think all the rest just stick it with the clan.
So you kind of prefer to trust and take advantage of it working rather than worry too much about shenanigans.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, I sit on 100 million gold and probably materials for making 20 Santi, so a Santi is a good risk for a course guy.
okay.
You know?
So one player shifting you isn't really going to wreck anything. You've got those
No.
resources sorted out. So I think one of the other things that you guys seem to probably be particularly good at is your propaganda machine. I've noticed you love to keep tallies of how many ships you've sunk and captured and all of that sort of stuff. So what's all that about, do you reckon?
We keep stats and tracking what we do in our actions, mainly because our enemies, there is a lot of rumors around our clan, so we prefer to have facts. A
Yeah.
screenshot tells more than 1,000 words about how a battle went.
All right, and is
to
there
give an idea, if you want a very near example,
Yeah.
the Battle of Carlisle got recorded, and the British removed the video because they don't want to show
a
how
terrible
they
loss?
lost.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and have you got lots of your losses hosted up there on videos?
Of course, we not remove anything from our losses.
And with your gang fleets, is it more unstructured bits of fun, or do you sort of go out there with a bit of a plan? You sort of try and structure, a couple of Connies, couple of Trinks, and Ingerman, or whatever your particular fleet is. How structured is your ganking? Because I know it's been very successful, but I'm just wondering how structured it is.
We think before there is a sort of doctrines. Everybody have the same modules, the same speed setups. We have a dedicated guys for boarding with fear paddles, to give you an idea.
Yeah.
Because it goes very fast for ridge boarding, like we call it. So it's a very structured fleet exactly for that role. So that's why even when we engage like 7 against 15, we manage to win because we use various tactics. We go very downwind, so you have a lot of healing. So all range, outrange the enemy, so we can demast them. And the puppies or other clans don't understand this tactic. They just rush towards you, and they find themselves demasted, and then everybody think about themselves, start running when the things.
Alright, so you really, it's sort of quite an organised and coordinated effort when you head out in a group of 5 or 6 of you.
We analyze also strategy. For example, Duke can talk that when we started to using the smaller cannons on our ships.
Okay, is this like, when you say smaller cannons, you mean quicker reloads and stuff?
Right. I don't know if they've changed it now, but at one point in time, we used to use nothing but 4-pound cannons on our gank boats.
Yeah.
And that's because they had 100% penetration on mass.
Yeah.
So they could reload much faster and still do 100% penetration. So your DPM was higher than any other cannon in the game, especially on mass.
I was going to say, and if you're running a tactic where your primary goal is to get their sails down as quick as you can, so that's good, man. That sounds like you kind of think that out.
And that's what you can see by the stats about our Britain campaign, that 60% of the ship not were sinked but captured.
Yeah. No. I mean, I've been on the other side of that, so I know how that can work. So how do you reckon others see you? How do the pirate? Is there a pirate community?
It's hard to say community. There is some clan that are rogue, like VW, So, and there is a council of clan, many European and Russians, and there is a story that is part of the coalition, but mainly do our stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, the, I don't know how the other nation works besides Americans. The entire of pirates are pretty friendly to each other in that sense. I mean, it's very rare the case of pirate attacking each other. We know who is a rogue in that sense.
So with you guys, I'm talking particularly about Sorry here, really campaigning around Jamaica for the past few weeks, and it doesn't seem like you've got lots and lots of plans to leave. Is there any angst amongst the pirate pubbies, if you like, that you've kind of left them to the teeth of others?
We come saving them a couple of times. You know, we took Port Francois, Port Pax, and
St.
this
Nick.
is the news I think for your video.
Yeah.
We are going to live in Carlisle.
You're going to
We
live?
already moved out. Yeah, we already moved out everything after the day after the port battle because
really?
we wanted that. We wanted to gank in the area. Now the area is dry beside the big fight. They promised us another fight in a week, but we're not going to sit in a week for nothing. And then
Right.
get
So you're
a
going to
port
move out,
battle.
or
Now, yeah.
or
already
you're
moved
using
out.
my video as a cunning way to trap more people into a horrible death.
No. Or maybe.
Or maybe.
No, we call it the new operation, call it the cleaning house.
That's okay.
Take a visit to our old fellows, Americans.
Okay, so there you go. That's good. I wasn't after an exclusive, but I've got one. That'll rush me to the upload. And then I'll be blamed when 100 ships get sunk tomorrow afternoon. But anyway. So, naval action in general. I guess I probably want your opinions on a couple of things. So let's start off with, there's the 3 or 4 big changes that are being discussed by the devs right now. There's the sailor resource pool, the land ownership, the new port battle mechanic, and the wind changes with different ships having different characteristics. Maybe, well, let's see if we can cover those off and get your thoughts, because you guys, I mean, I know you're technicians from previous chats we've had, and you run your tactics, so I'd be quite interested as to what you think. So, do you want to just generally talk about those 4 changes, or you can go through them one at a time if you want to start with sailors?
I think sailors is a very bad idea, to be honest. I think the crew management was fine a couple of patch ago, and then they kind of dumbed that down. That they not matters anything anymore in the fight whatsoever. And the crew management will make only the people doing less and less PvP. Already people tend to run. Imagine if they don't even lose the ship, but also they lose the ability to use that ship again.
So what you're saying is there that the risk of losing starts to become too high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling that against my clan. My clan have an excellent kill-death ratio, so
No, but in general.
More and more the game go towards an organized clan. For example, now for the crafting, before the people were able to capture ships and throw away, entire third rates fleets. Now I saw even with the British when they were screening against us, there were very low amount of people wanting to risk third rates against us.
Okay,
so if you add into that the crew things, I think PvP is going to suffer a lot.
So you think that and I have to say the other thing I'm personally a little bit worried about with the sailors thing, that so I'm sort of happy that they cap labour hours so that you're not producing Santamissimas after 20 hours play, but it does get a bit Farmville in that you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and I must admit I'm not looking forward to the notion that after I've had a really good bit of PvP I can now only sail round in a frigate or whatever.
Yeah, I'm failing also to see what this can bring to the game when there's other problems that need to be fixed,
I think if they mixed it in with that your sailor quota could be affected by you holding certain regions or something else to help you counterbalance it, that might make it a bit more interesting. What about you, Duke? You got any thoughts on the land ownership elements?
To be quite honest with you, I haven't even looked into it yet.
So the basic nub of it is that you will get land entitlements based on your contribution in port battles. And those land entitlements in turn will give you voting rights when it comes to your nation choosing who to go to war with. So I'm not sure how that would affect pirates, to be honest. But anyway, what do you think of those changes, Vicious?
But to be honest, I think they should path the diplomacy before. For example, I'm looking for something like ability for a nation or a clan to set the port for other nations. You know, like setting Carlisle ability to have Spanish and French guys, which I want to thank you, to dock there.
So I think that's in there. They're talking about being able to have alliances with nations. Now, what we haven't got clarity on is the granularity of that. So exactly what you said. Can I have perhaps a trade alliance, which would allow you to bring traders in and out of my ports, and then perhaps a full alliance, which would actually allow your warships to dock? There's discussion on that, but I'm not sure which way they're going. What about the idea of port battles that are a week apart and require you to drop down their defences first and blockade traders and that sort of stuff?
I think it overcomplicates something that is working, just needs some polishing in that sense. Maybe the first rate proliferation seems a problem near to the Titan proliferation in Evil Line. I made some threads offering a sort of battle rate cap. So you need to like compose your fleet, you know, you can bring less guy in bigger ships, or bring in a mix of frigate and turtles, which will have more sense because each clan will try to compose their own fleet, try to find the best combinations.
Yeah, no, I
It will allow also minor clans to be in port battle with less ship or more ships than a big clan. I mean, a clan like us that can bring 25 field rates in that environment can attack 2 ports at a time, for example.
That's right. That's right. So I think you're absolutely right. There's 3 or 4 clans out there now who can rock up with 25 first rates, and no one else other than those clans really can put up a true fight. So and I did actually see your thread, if either they can do it through sort of rating caps or rating with BR caps, or even limiting ports to different ratings and BR limits, I'll be interested to see what the port defences look like that they're talking about bringing in. I think that's going to be interesting.
But you know, I'm looking for something more deep in strategy and tactics. Now pretty much is you need to have 25 field rates.
Yeah.
That's where everybody is aiming for. Then there is the coordination work, the setups and things like that. But everybody know which is the path. While if you have a battle rating, you know, cap, everybody will try different combinations. You know, 25 freaks, 12 turrets.
And what about as pirates? So you guys play as pirates. If you could pick 3 things you'd like the devs to think about specifically for, say, pirate play, what would that be, do you reckon?
The ability to make your own flag and like an independent group of pirates based entirely on your clan, not a nation. Right.
So more. So obviously, I mean, the cosmetic of making your own flag would be quite nice, full stop, wouldn't it? Nice little
cosmetic linked also to real gameplay in that sense, you know. Let's say I set my own clan with my own flag and I want to attack everybody in the server, including the other pirates.
Yeah.
Now attacking the other pirates is pretty much a nonsense, because you can do pretty much only 1-on-1 or 49 against 1 is how it works, the mechanics.
So how would they... I've never played a pirate because I have ethics and morals, but if they were to fix the mechanic for pirates biffing each other, what would it be? A clan-on-clan type of thing? Yeah,
I think it will make the pirates more interesting. Much more clan will choose to attack everybody. Because now, I explain you the mechanics if you don't know. Let's say I'm a pirate and I tag another pirate.
Yep.
Pretty much, if other pirates want to join, even on my side, can only join from the defender side.
Right,
so
okay.
you get 49 against 1.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a bit average, isn't it? So one area that you'd really like, if we're talking about pirate improvements, one area you'd really like to see an improvement in is the pirate on pirate, either clan on clan or even allied clans on allied clans within pirate world.
Yeah, make the clan have their own politics. Like a clan can be allied with British, for example, be privateers for them in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. What about capturing ports? Do you think pirates should be able to capture ports?
But after all, there is this problem about being historical accurate. Okay, if we make the pirate historically accurate, technically the pirate can't do anything in the game besides ganking someone or pissing off someone.
So what would be a game balance, do you think? To make it interesting for pirates.
I think if you make the pirate be able to attack each other or creating clan politics, that will make automatically the pirates a mess up in terms of grandeur strategy. They will not be all together in that sense if they can be hired or set their own politics. I think this alone will just fix up the situation in that sense. If you want to limit the pirate to smaller ships, you pretty much exclude 30% of the entire server from the port battles.
And I think being a pirate is an attractive part of getting into naval action. I can understand that.
That's why I proposed the battle rating things regards the port battle, because the pirates can be limited, for example, to third-rated frigates. They will simply bring 25 guys in frigates, while the others field 3 first rates and some escorts.
Yeah.
So that will auto-balance also. It will give an excuse to balance the pirates, because they will bring more ships but smaller. Now there is no sense. If you limit the pirates to third rates, how are you going to win 25 third rates against 25 first rates?
So more generally, what else can you imagine for pirates that you'd like to see? Is there any other... So obviously the battle mechanics is important to you. Is there any other... you mentioned potentially allying with other nations and becoming mercenaries, perhaps?
Yeah, sort of contracts,
Because that was quite historical,
like that.
wasn't it? I know that the Brits and the French did a lot of that.
Yeah, it would be interesting. So the various pirate clan can, get hired by the French, by the British, etc. This mechanic itself will make the pirates not acting as a nation. Now we are acting as a nation because we are a nation.
Well, it's just the
It's
game.
not a choice,
Yeah, I don't feel as though they've built pirates into the game at all, other than as a nation at the moment. Any other piratey things that if you had the magic developer stick you'd like to see?
Capturing ships and refitting them into piratey way.
And
like outfitting them with more cannons or more crew, but getting them slower,
So modding a ship that is appropriate to that nation, or in the case of pirates, their particular doctrine.
Yeah, maybe limit our ability to crafting ships, but giving us the possibility to capture a ship and then outfitting it, pretty much recrafting or retrocrafting, that ship with 3 durability.
A lot like they did with the pirate frigate.
Okay.
Put larger cannons on it.
Yeah, but perhaps making it something a little bit more that the crafter can do to modify a captured ship.
Have control of those modifications.
Yeah, let's say we capture a first rate from the British.
Yeah.
The idea is that you pirate fitting that from the captured one, and you get a multiple durability ship from that.
Yeah, refit effectively. Yeah,
because it's very hard to capture a ship, so even if you get more durability, how often you capture the first rate?
No, that's I think that's an interesting idea. I hadn't even thought about that. What about raiding ports? Some sort of raiding mechanic. Have you any thoughts on that? Or
the fact is, how the economy works now is linked to the port. So just raiding a port or risking the ship for maybe get 10,000 coal, it's not worth the time.
But I could imagine
make clans owning ports and upgrading it with structures. And one thing is all clans, since a clan that work very internally between us, is the clan warehouse.
Yes.
Where we can centralize the resource.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Or clan taxes, for example, for the gold. You can place 5% taxes and then use that money for buying resource. And I come from Evil Line. In Evil Line, the Alliance have a sort of alliance tax or income, and they use that income for giving the ships back to the people. We want to do something like that in Sorry. We are already doing that, but
You're doing it yourselves.
Lack,
no, I agree.
Yeah, we lack a lot of controlling, centralization in that sense.
So I think you're absolutely right. Things like clan taxes and better warehouses and a whole bunch of other clan capabilities. I mean, just simple things as well. Sorting your players online and offline and all those sort of management things. Would be really good. Anything else for sort of general NA improvements you'd kind of really like to see?
More ships, especially for the big ships. I mean, it's all Santi and Victor's pretty much.
Yeah, so
we need more variety in that sense.
Yeah, continuous variety on ships, and I also think when you talk about being able to outfit them, in essence, that would open up a whole bunch of variety, wouldn't it? If you could outfit them within some national characteristics or pirate characteristics.
Yeah, there's small things they could do. For example, that cost nothing also. You see the sailor on your deck. Why don't just make them black for the pirates or red for the British? It's a small touch, or the uniforms.
So just out of interest, what would your thoughts be if they sort of brought in some of these things as like microtransactions that you could add minor cosmetics to your ship? Are you a big anti-microtransaction person? Or?
No, completely fine. It will keep founding the game. They can, keep hiring people, making the game better. I mean, it not change anything to me if you have any German land with black skin, or something like that.
As long as it doesn't.
As long as it not, an edge in the PvP.
So no gold ammo, as it were, as certain other games allow you to have.
Yeah, or sail, painting the sails or things like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Another things I really lack for the strategy is the reload animation of the cannons.
Yeah, go on.
You don't see them returning back and out, like in Pirate of the Burning Sea, where you can judge when someone have the cannons reloaded purely because they are exiting,
So more visual cues as to your opponent's reload state. And I also think if you've got things like extra planking or reinforced masting or stuff, you should be able to get
it will be
a visual
cool to
cue.
see that. Yeah. So you can judge exactly when someone have a reloaded broadside, not because I'm seeing a number, under your name.
And what about you, Duke? Is there any general things you'd love to see if you had a Magic developer stick for an hour?
I really feel like Vicious has pretty much gone over the things that I would like to see as well. I mean, we have pretty similar interests.
Yeah.
As far as those things are concerned.
And in general, so you guys, you've got your EVE experience and other games you've spoken. If you Magic forward a couple of years or a year or whatever, what sort of player base and type of game do you think this might be if they do it right?
I think it's going more and more towards an Evil Line-like, to be honest. Even if Evil Line is more open, especially regards how the community talk to each other. I mean, in Evil you can say to a guy, you are a moron, without being banned for, a week.
Yeah.
I think there is a bit too much control from the moderators and the forum in this game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a mature game, so the people naturally can flame each other, in the battles or things like that.
And when you say it's a mature game, do you think, guys, that's just because you have to put so much time and effort in it to be at all useful?
No, I think people tend to take everything too serious and too personal,
Yeah.
And when they maybe don't defeat you in the game, they try to find other ways for hurting you,
And you'd probably prefer what you're saying, just to make sure I'm hearing this right, is don't bother moderating that unless it's extreme. Just let grown-ups be grown-ups.
Yeah, I mean, someone is really, racist or offensive. I mean, if a guy just mocking you because they just synced you.
Unless they're French, because I don't think, can you be racist against the French? I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure that's an international rule.
Can't.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean,
Just check that. between us.
Want to sell Fred's rifle, never shoot once, only drop it.
So, before I wrap up, is there anything else you want to add about the clan, about the state of the game, anything in particular?
I think we have seen a bit of population drop, so maybe wink wink suggestion to the devs, merge the server, it's about time.
A bit of a server merge, yeah. I did actually suggest to the devs they do a $1 humble bundle that gets you 14 days free sailing or something along those lines as well to try and get a few folks in.
Yeah, some Steam relaunch, proposition in that sense.
Yeah. So merged servers would be good, and they could maybe time that with the new ports when they're going to have to do the port wipe, so people don't get grumpy monkeys twice.
Oh, that's a big problem, I think. In my personal opinion, if they wipe the server where the majority of the high-ranked players don't have anything, this game is dead.
Okay, yes, it's a big call, because I know they've spoken about potentially having to do that with the.
I know, but they waited too much, to be honest, at this point.
So too much
this
investment.
Game is very grindy, and there is pretty much nothing to gain for thousands of cores or rear admiral to start in game in cutters after all.
Yeah, I wonder. So I think it's a good point you make that it's been a long time. A lot of people have built up hours worth of assets. So even if they had to do a wipe, if they could just do an asset calculation and say, right, well you've got 5 buildings, so that's 800,000. You've got a level 3 shipyard, have another 8. So effectively you could buy it back without having to grind it back. I think that might be a little bit more tolerable.
The risk is too high, in my opinion. I'm not saying that because I'm one of the richest motherfucker in the server, but because personally I would not going to grade the game.
Yeah, that's...
I can be back in the Santi probably in 2-3 days, but the point is why? Fighting NPC is boring.
Unless there's some super sexy content to make up for it, eh?
I think I will be fine if they give us some extra ships, redeemables, especially if this, let's say, sacrifice we're going to make is for getting a lot of new players.
Yeah. So if it was just purely an XP and a crafting XP you were left with, I reckon what you're saying there, and I think I probably agree with you, it's probably a little bit harsh, isn't it?
It's too late.
Too late.
Too much. Too late, we lost too many players. The players that remained are, I think, the most dedicated players, so you're not going to get much more players. We already seen who remain and who leave. Let's say they make a new relaunch and we get again, 2,400 guys online.
Yeah.
After a month, they will drop again.
Yeah, I think, you could be onto something there. Alright guys, well look, we'll see how this goes. I thought that was quite interesting. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see whether or not I do this type of thing with some of the other clan leaders if they want to open up and give me their views on the game and how they run their clans. Thank you for the exclusive about the evacuation, not the evacuation, the leaving of Carlisle, which I'm sure is some sort of evil pirate trap.
Unfortunately, we need to defend home because the Americans went too deep in the sense the pubs are not defending, so we need to clean pretty much.
Yeah, no.
And personally, I will be really interested to see you interviewing the leaders of SLRN.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go after SLRN and Brits, and I'd love if there's one of the guys in the Danish clans who's got the English, because I know there's a lot of the Russians who play there. I'd love to get their take on it. I'll leave that there. Feel free when I've bunged the video up to stick stuff in comments that you felt as though you perhaps forgot to say, or having consulted your lawyers, you're retracting. So thanks Duke, and thanks Lord for popping in and giving us the story of sorry. And this is Jeheil signing out, so I will see you on the oceans, and I'll catch you. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.